My meal was interrupted by a strange call, and then the whole world collapsed. A lifeless voice from the other end of the line announced that my parents had died in a traffic accident. The bite of rice choked in my throat. I sat alone before my parents' altar, unaware that behind their tragic death was a prearranged conspiracy. A supreme power wanted to silence them to conceal a horrifying truth. Just like that, at 18, I lost the people who loved me forever. I sank into pain, recalling the humiliation I'd endured. To become stronger, to find the truth, I threw myself into training and studying like a madman. After that, I entered law school and became a prosecutor. But fate seemed to enjoy playing tricks on people. The shock at 18 years old turned me into someone eager to destroy all corruption, to avenge my parents. My current target, a powerful politician, beloved by the people. But I didn't give up. Not long after, I managed to get him into the interrogation room. Congressman Joe T.A.E. Seob. I told him all of his crimes. But at that moment, T.A.E. Seob's henchmen acted. They seized the only witness who could convict him. Hearing the news, I immediately rushed to find him. On the way, I received a threatening video from Joe T.A.E. Seob. Anger flared within me. I ran to the building where the witness was held. When I arrived, the assassin was standing on the rooftop. He even taunted me. I charged forward, taking down a few of T.A.E. Seob's henchmen. And then, it was the assassin's turn. Both of us lunged at each other. I managed to pin him to the ground. But he reversed the situation, lifted me high, and slammed me hard onto the floor. He repeatedly punched me in the face. At this point, I had no strength left to resist. The assassin lifted me and let me fall. Memories flooded back. When I opened my eyes, I was still standing on the rooftop. Time seemed to freeze. Beside me, a girl in red appeared. I asked if I was already dead. The girl confirmed, but I said I still felt pain. She said that since I was dead, I would no longer feel pain. Then she showed me my life again. The days of being bullied at school, my parents' deaths. I had tried to become strong. I trained, studied, entered law school, and became a prosecutor. The girl in red asked me, if you could live again, could you bring Joe T.A.E. Seob to justice? I replied, if I could live again, that's what I must do. The girl wanted me to help her show Joe T.A.E. Seob what hell was like. She would save my life as long as I kept my promise. Suddenly, time flowed backward. When I opened my eyes, I was back at the convenience store, the place where I worked part-time in high school. My friend called out the total, helping me calm down. I still couldn't believe my eyes. I rushed into the restroom and looked at my young face. Not a single trace of blood. I had truly come back to life. Right then I remembered the red-clad girl's words. You must put Joe T.A.E. Seob in prison. I suddenly remembered something important and rushed home. Standing at the door, memories of my parents flooded back. When they were alive, they were always busy worrying about the family, rarely spending time with me. That had made me a rebellious child. Before they left, they told me to eat dinner and go to work. But I hadn't eaten. Instead, I went to the convenience store to eat instant noodles. And that's when I received that fateful call. Fate truly knew how to tease. I had sat alone before their portraits, with the son they always worried about. Back home, I found the note my mother had left. She told me to reheat the food. She apologized for not being able to be with me more. I sat down and ravenously ate the last meal my mother cooked for me. My tears streamed down endlessly. I deeply regretted what I had done. Memories flooded back, making me rush inside the house. I nervously opened the door. This was what I had most hoped for when reborn, but the house was empty. I called out for my parents, but no one answered. I desperately slumped to the floor. Just then my mother walked out. Is that Hee-woo? Are you done with work? Emotional, I quickly embraced my mother. Then my father walked out, and I hugged him too. They were surprised by my unusual behavior today. From then on, every day I saw my parents off to work. I even considerately opened the door for them. Seeing my strange behavior, my father asked if I intended to shave my head and become a monk. I didn't answer, just smiled and hugged them. I watched their figures fade into the distance, my heart filled with happiness. Finally, I was no longer alone. Whether this was a dream or reality, I knew what I needed to do now. Prepare everything well so that past tragedies would not repeat. Every morning, after eating, I started jogging to train. At school, I listened attentively to lectures. It had been 15 years since I touched a textbook. After school, I ate and reviewed my lessons. Studying too hard made me doze off in class. I dreamt of my parents being hit by a car. That dream reminded me that tomorrow was May 18th, the day my parents died. That evening, I advised my parents to stay home for a day off. They disagreed with this unreasonable request, so that evening, I waited at the company gate to pick them up. On the way home, the whole family chatted and laughed happily. I even walked on the outside to protect them. Just then, a crazy car sped towards us. Seeing this, I immediately lunged out to shield my parents, but the car just grazed past. I thought everything was over, but suddenly, another car rushed towards us. I quickly pushed my parents to the other side and fell. The car hit a trash can and then hit my parents. The outcome remained unchanged. I was still alone, lost in this world. I fell to the ground and sobbed. I blamed myself for not being able to protect them. But suddenly, I heard them calling from behind the car. I quickly ran to see. Fortunately, they only had minor injuries. The police quickly arrived at the scene. I wanted to know who caused the accident. I was shocked to see it was Jang Seok-kyu, son of Congressman Jo Tae Seob. Finally, everything became clear. The reason I couldn't find the culprit in my previous life was because Tae Seob had concealed his son's case files. I hated that I couldn't throw Seok-kyu in prison right now. After saving my parents, I returned to working at the convenience store. Just then, a guy walked in, threw money on the counter, and kept mocking me. That was Jang-in, the bully who always picked on me in high school. Jang-in's father was the chief of police, so he was very arrogant. When Jang-in and I were about to fight, Han Mi intervened. After that, Han Mi chased Jang-in away. Before leaving, she even teased me. The next day, I was called to the dean's office. The principal was very happy because this time I had ranked first in the exam. Back at the convenience store, this time another classmate came to find me. She was Kim Gyu-ri, who always topped the academy. Gyu-ri asked me how I managed to surpass her this time. I just smiled slightly and said nothing. After Gyu-ri finished speaking, she turned to leave. But I asked Gyu-ri if her health had been okay recently. Gyu-ri didn't care and just left. After that, another thug walked in, throwing a piece of paper on the counter. He demanded to buy drugs. I threw it back and said it wasn't enough. The guy burst out laughing. "I heard you changed. I didn't think it was true." He urged me to bring out the drugs quickly, but I didn't care, so he challenged me to go outside. He brought his accomplices and took me to the park. He intended to hit me, but I grabbed his arm. I punched him in the face a few times, but suddenly, I was attacked from behind. The guy tried to kick me, but I immediately counterattacked, making him fall to the ground in pain. The other three rushed forward. I defeated them all. After dealing with these guys, I went home and told my parents that I wanted to apply to Korea University. My parents thought I was just kidding, but I showed them my first place report card. After reading it, they couldn't believe it. 3 months later, I went to class. Seeing the lights in the room flickering continuously, I remembered that today might be the day Kim Gyu-ri had an accident. I immediately went to look and found her unconscious in the rain. I quickly took her to the hospital. When Guri woke up, I reminded her to take care of her health, but Guri told me not to worry about other people's business. She refused to tell me her feelings. I took out a bottle of anti-sleep medication and spilled it all over the hospital bed. I said that even if she was grateful to her adoptive parents, she shouldn't destroy herself like this. Her parents wouldn't want that. I advised her not to repay them in such a distorted way. What her parents wanted was for her to think for herself. Only then did Juri realize. Then I went outside. I suddenly remembered my past life. Juri had overdosed on anti-sleep medication. Even after graduating from law school, I never saw her again, whether she went to school or worked. After thinking it over, I decided to change Juri's fate. I went to the restroom and happened to overhear Jang-in and his accomplices plan. They intended to put sleeping pills in Han Mi's drink tonight. I calmly walked into the room. At this moment, they also walked out. Seeing me, Jang-in stood there mocking. That evening, I went to the nightclub where they had arranged to meet. As soon as I opened the door, I saw Jang-in secretly filming Han Mi. Seeing me, Jang-in threw a bottle of wine at me. I calmly dodged it. After that, I used a clothes hanger to lock the door, and the 1-on-4 battle began. The 4 of them were no match for me. One of them tried to crawl out, but I grabbed his head and pulled him back in. I closed the door. Screams echoed again. After that, I saved Han Mi. I sat on a chair, waiting for her to wake up. When Han Mi woke up, she loudly asked me what had happened. I said nothing, just handed her the phone to see for herself. After that, they were all taken to the police chief's office. The police chief was Jang-in's father. The fat guy admitted that he was the one who put the drug in Han Mi's drink. The police chief immediately said that his son knew nothing. After that, he blamed me for assaulting his son. While he was twisting the truth, Han Mi.'s father, Kim Seok-hoon, walked in. Seok-hoon slowly took off his watch and slapped Jang In hard across the face. As I reached the door, I wondered why Kim Seok-hoon only had one son. As I was about to leave, Han Mi called me back and invited me to dinner. Initially, I intended to refuse, but I was hungry. To avoid awkwardness, Han Mi said she just wanted to treat me as thanks. I pressed my face close to Han Mi's, making her embarrassed. I didn't want to go with her because of the smell of cigarettes on her. After that, I turned and walked away.